Kaboom!
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the AIB Show. This is the Mitt.
And Dominic.
And oddly enough, for those of you who are watching us via the video stream, if you will, Dominic has not done a wardrobe change today, which is very weird.
Because I was cognizant of your time constraints, and which you like to bitch about a lot. And I decided to be a good guy.
You decided to be a good guy by not doing a wardrobe change?
Yes.
So wardrobe change is bad guy?
I mean, evidently.
I don't understand the dynamics here.
Evidently for you.
All right. Talk to us. What do you got?
Don't say gay bill.
All right.
Ron DeSantis, Florida. Yeah. So you may recall a few episodes ago, a while back, we talked about the Stop Woke bill in Florida, which prohibited the discussion of critical race theory in schools and allowed parents to sue school districts, despite the fact that there was not a single teacher in the state of Florida discussing critical race theory whatsoever. It's pandering to an ignorant base. And this bill is interesting as well. It's under do you know what it's under the guise of and why they're doing it? Have you heard about the defenders of the rationale for it?
Of the woke bill or this bill?
Oh, forgive me, for the Don't Say Gay bill.
No, enlighten me.
Pedophilia.
I'm sorry? How does this work?
Yeah, I don't know.
By the way, you live in an aviary now?
I'm living where?
In an aviary? I mean, living.
I know.
How many ambient noises were...
The pool pump just went on.
This guy literally says, come on. This guy comes right forward and he goes, sound quality is key. There's a garbage truck going by. Meanwhile, there is every sound possible in the background of every show we record. But continue. So no, I didn't know that. So enlighten me. How does pedophilia play into this? Because I
don't know. It's if you look at social media comments, if you look at what some representatives have stated, and it's a very vague bill, it's only 4 pages, quick read. Evidently, I never saw the original bill was so absurd that they had to rewrite it. And this didn't even overwhelmingly pass by the Republican representatives. I don't know if you saw the Florida House and the Florida Senate. It wasn't, some sweeping agreement by them. It's how egregious it is that even many of these Republicans are like, this is foolish.
But it doesn't matter. There's still enough idiots out there. So, I know we focus on him, but there's a whole flock of idiots right behind him, right? When things like this are even a situation, like the fact that this is even conceived of bothers me. But I still don't understand the pedophilia.
You had a post that said something like, hey guys, now that we have this bill, gay kids are still going to be born, or something like that. You had a...
Yeah, wow, you kind of butchered the hell out of that one. Wow, this guy. Wow. I mean, I didn't even want to go with that one. That's just bad, Dominic. You're not even listening to things that people are saying. All it says is gay kids will keep being born whether you say the word or not. That's
okay.
What it says.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So basically what this is, it's also forcing school administration to do. So many kids clearly are not comfortable talking to their parents about, whether it's their sexuality or issues or feelings they're having. Because we know some parents will disown their kids. Some parents will physically abuse them. Some parents will mentally abuse them. And we're seeing kids take their lives too because of these issues, right? And we're forcing the kids to speak with their parents about it, which is a sad reality that so many literally cannot. It's a vague bill, but a Florida senator said one of the reasons why we're doing this is so that there isn't a book that says Sally went to the store with her 2 moms and bought 7 apples. Each apple cost 25 cents. How much did they spend? No, Sally has to go to the store with her mom and her dad.
Yeah, but I still don't understand how that's pedophilia. I'm confused by that.
I don't understand this anything. But it's also how is this protecting, we're saying kids shouldn't be exposed to sexuality at that age, but I think you talked about last
I brought
time.
up last
They
time.
are exposed to sexuality.
Watch
by
every cartoon ever
heterosexuality.
created. Exactly. But the difference is, and this goes back to my favorite topic, religion, because this is where it's all coming from. This is the basis for a lot of that, right? The book says one thing, and by default, we have to follow said book. And that's just the logic. Literally, that's the logic. This is how simple-minded this is. That's the logic. So the book that was written by whomever back when God knows what, when the world was a very different place. And by the way, with this person's thought process in mind, where this is, so in essence, if Ron DeSantis had written the Bible, right? This is his vision of what things should be. People just following along for generations after. This is the dynamic, and this is a foolish reason to do anything. And only that, gay people are still going to be gay people, man. Why? I know, but I don't understand why you have to. But again, what bothers me more about this is it comes to the freedom dynamic. Give me my freedoms. Freedom, 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 freedom. Hold up, not your freedom. My freedom. Your freedom doesn't count. Period. Right. So by the way, and this works for.
Also, give my freedom like a woman with my body. Give me my freedom.
No, you can't. No, you can't. That I want you to have a kid. I want to kill your kid in the future. That's okay because I have to protect myself.
Yes.
But I want you to have the kid first, right? And by the way, I'm not going to pay for it, and I'm going to put the kid in a home, and I'm not going to fund. So all these things, I'm telling you what to do, but freedom. You got your freedom. I'm sorry. You can do whatever you want. This is what irks me, and then I take it a step further, and I bring it back to entertainment and Disney. So Florida, as many people know, has a massive Disney World. And by the way, I've never been to LA's Disneyland, and I won't go to Disneyland because that's just a land. Disney World is where it's at for those who like Disney. With that being said, I dislike Orlando with a passion and have not been to Disney World in God knows what year. And I assume if and when I have a child, I'll have no choice. But until then, I will hold out and not go there. With that being said,
happiest place on earth.
When was the last time you were in Disney?
Probably 3 years, 2 years.
For real?
Yeah.
Your kids are still about that life?
No, they're more universal.
Okay.
But remember, I got my father-in-law, ABC Disney employee for all these years.
Yeah, but I mean,
I'm about that free life.
But it's not. You just got to drive to Disney.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, but compared to what everyone else has to spend, yeah.
Or just don't spend. Just don't go. Either way, fine.
Yeah,
we're going on a rabbit hole. So the interesting part about Disney, right, is Disney has a lot of clout in Florida, understandably. There's a huge investment in the dynamic, right? So a couple of things have happened, right? Film and TV studios have been called out time and time again when it comes to these types of laws in place. In Georgia, right, when the whole voter rights situation too, they wanted Disney to come out against it, right, and make change and impact change and whatever. Netflix as well, because they do a lot of production there. Same thing happens in Florida, right? But Disney's CEO, Bob Chapek, didn't really do anything. Period. And he was kind of just trying to skirt the line, right? And he was like, "Oh no, we're okay. We're not going to do anything here altogether," right? And he tells staff that the company didn't release a statement on the bill because, quote, they're often weaponized by one side or the other to further divide and inflame. However, the company will reassess its advocacy efforts, including political donations. This is just, I mean, you can't ride a fence any more than that. Like, that's literally taking no stance because one, either you believe it or you're okay with it, right? But so you're trying to placate both sides, right? It's Jordan, Republicans wear sneakers too kind of dynamic. Except now, again, they work in entertainment, which is a fairly the type of products that Disney puts out, right? It's fairly liberal and dynamic. So this goes against some of that. Not saying that their audience is that. So now he's been pressured. So now he's come out and came out and in essence said that, we're not for this bill. And I think he's putting $5 million towards something, in essence to say, oops, it should have come out earlier.
So that's
and
like
then now he's going to.
That's like us putting $50.
Correct. And now he's going to sit down with DeSantis and have a chat about this because it matters to Disney.
That chat goes, ha ha ha, look at these jackasses on both sides.
So this is it irked me because even in Georgia, by the way, nothing moved. No production left. Nobody did anything because there's too much money.
No, didn't Will Smith move? Something moved, right?
He moved to Louisiana.
And the All-Star game, and it was
moved.
There was and the NBA All-Star game did move.
Which
there was some revenue they lost, but yeah.
Zero things, right?
But my point is, who lost it? It's not the state lost it. Businesses, people who allowed
Nobody
their
did anything.
elected officials to mess up their.
And Ryan Coogler, who you talked about in previous episode, didn't come out against it either, by the way, because he was producing in Atlanta at the time.
Of course.
And he said nothing about it too. And he said, in essence, we must. I forgot what I'm paraphrasing now, but something to the effect of, we've got to just get more involved. Oh no, by me staying here, I'm bringing more light to the dynamic versus pulling out of Atlanta. No, nothing happened because you stayed. Had you left for a production like Black Panther, it would have been a huge thing. But again, money speaks. So that's why. But the reason I go there is because there's an expectation for people to be more altruistic or to be more whatever because of their status. And the reality is many people don't give a crap because it doesn't affect your day to day, right? And you are saying because you are Black, you have to come out against this and support the masses. Because you are rich, you must do stuff to help the poor, etc. Or these expectations are there and they don't exist, right? And for us to assume that people are always looking out for the benefit of the world, sadly, it's not true, not remotely true. Right. And that's why I find it always funny when we put these onuses even on athletes, saying they must step up and do things for the right of kids and whatever. No, man, that's not 9 out of 10 don't even want to do anything. I just want to get paid and go about my life and buy my stuff and be happy. And I'm good because it doesn't matter to them. They're always outliers. Yeah. But why are we expecting them, i.e. rich people, whomever, color, creed, whatever, rich people, to be the ones to affect change in this dynamic?
Because we like to pretend we would do the same.
And we wouldn't. And that's the other part too. Again, there's outliers to everything. You're a lying ass. You are a lying ass.
I feel like there was a Chappelle's. Was there? What? Or somebody? Oh no, it was Reno 911. You ever watch the show?
I should have never seen it, but it looks pretty funny.
What?
Yes.
They have the new ones. I don't know if they're good. The old show was so ridiculously amazing. You'd love it. And basically, there was a airplane above.
Obviously. Keep going.
In town for the lotto, many people got the same ticket mistakenly, and that ticket won. Mm-hmm. So basically, all these people thought they had money. So all of a sudden, their real, you got to see the skit, their real character came out like, bleep you, mother bleepers, I'm out of this bitch. Right? And like any cause they pretended they were part of, they were like, nah, I'm out, I'm gone. So they all
realized, I mean, you can't expect people with money to be. Yeah, they're not. If people do things for their, generally speaking, again, for their personal greater good, and that's just the sad reality of life. Case in point, there was the Sackler family. I just heard a podcast right now. So the Sackler family were forced
opioids,
right? Yeah. So sorry. So they Purdue Pharma. They're one of the main companies behind the opioid crisis. They have a $6 billion, I believe, settlement against them right now for some responsibility, but for the settlement, they negotiated that they can never be sued again for this ever. And also they, after the payment, in essence, it's a fine. They're paying a fine and nothing happens to them. No jail time, no nothing. They're fine because they're rich.
They moved their family office to West Palm, and I'm actually selling a property that's literally adjacent to it, shares the same wall. So I try to go into the office to just, you tell everybody on the block, part of my, hey, this property is for sale if you want to buy it or somebody else. You can't get in, understandably so. It's like all kinds of security codes in there. And they come to the door and I show them my business card and I point to because I'm sure there's people who want to get in there and
yeah. But here's what's interesting about them, right? So they have this fine, right? Which again is foolish. They have this fine, but also what happened with this now is so they had to hear testimony from people directly affected by this, i.e., parents whose kids have died, people who are in recovery because of they became addicted to opioids, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so they had to. This is part of their punishment. They had to hear stuff. Two things. I chuckle that is part of the punishment because they didn't care before. They don't care now. Secondarily, from what I heard, apparently it was done via Zoom. So I chuckle even more because I know what I do when I'm on Zoom sometimes. I'm doing a bunch of different stuff and you can do whatever you want, right? Third, I think one of them wasn't even on camera. So homie wasn't even there. And when it was all said and done, they gave zero statement, hung up, moved on with their lives. How was that punishment? Like, it is ridiculous that that's the game. But again, dollars and cents. My point is, people go, you expect things from them. And the reason they got this expectation of being big philanthropic companies because they would donate to schools. And so now they're getting name shift off of buildings, donate art to different, galleries, etc. So part of their punishment is that their name is tarnished. And I chuckle at that altogether because it doesn't matter. It does not matter. Because their wealth is safe, i.e. they're able to come back completely, right? It doesn't matter. With that being said, you have something real quick?
Yeah, real quick. Did you know a poll conducted, not sure how many individuals were in the poll. I'm always curious about this because I find a lot of these polls and surveys don't have enough people. Conducted in December by Lifeway Research indicated, it was asking different racial groups if they believed they would wind up in heaven. Black, white, Hispanic, what do you think is the order of, from most to least, of that population of people they interviewed that believed they would wind up in heaven? Black, white, Hispanic.
I don't know. Hold up, the least?
From most to least. Like this group, more of them than the other group.
Shit, I don't know, honestly.
All right, black people 49%, white people 37%, 28% for Hispanics.
Hispanics felt they wouldn't go to heaven?
Yeah, this was not a belief in heaven. There's a difference, right? This was I will wind up in heaven. Here's why. Here's a theory as to why.
Don't have to believe in it to see that I.
No. Because all these people believe in it.
Okay.
And then of the people that believe in it, how many believe
they don't feel they're worthy enough? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And there's a oh geez.
Keep going. You got 2 minutes. I gotta jump.
Goose just flew overhead.
Bro. How?
Top Gun.
This is ridiculous. The fact that you're
14 Tomcats.
Oh my god. Go ahead.
The theory is this: that black people feel and I would agree, their struggle collectively is so much greater than others that there must be a reward for them. Hence, they believe they'll wind up in heaven because of all this suffering. Right? Again, this is not a belief asking which people believe in heaven the most.
Okay.
It's of the people that believe in heaven of these three races. Which is also interesting in general, though. All three of them were less than 50%. So evidently people are walking around thinking they're quote unquote bad people because they're not going to get into where they think the good people go, which is interesting. Are people acknowledging they're not so good?
That is interesting. I never thought
that's fascinating, right? Because you think everybody's like, oh, I'm going to heaven.
Yeah, I don't know. That's actually very interesting. Speaking of which, are you a cremation dude or you're a burial dude?
I don't. It's a good question. Oh, not. I would think the only reason I do burial is to have a place for my family to come, but I don't know how often they would come, so I don't know. That's why I don't know. You? I mean, traditionally, you're traditional.
Nah, it's not even traditional. I was like, man, if I gotta buy a plot. For me, I'm a cost-sensitive dude. There's no value in me buying a piece of ground. I'm a bit frugal in this way. I'm like, what's the cheapest way for me to get away from this?
So wait, would you want your ashes, like, for you to be spread on in a CrossFit gym, like spread outside?
They just bury the ground in the CrossFit gym.
Sprinkled from the top, with the dust, mix it with the chalk.
That'd be pretty amazing. Amazing.
Ring muscle ups in honor of him.
That'd be amazing. That'd be amazing. I didn't even think about that.
All right, you got to run.
Yeah,
be better. Justice over order. Apple has been pretty damn good to us. No issues for a couple months, but please ensure that continues to happen. Write a review on Apple, please. Simply just give us a rating, even if you're too lazy to give a 20-second review. But don't be too lazy. Give us a 20-second review. Check us out on YouTube. Check us out on the AIBshow.com with all the links. Facebook, we started slowly coming back on Instagram doing stuff. So for those of you that were unaware there are new shows and episodes because you were only on Instagram following us and we dropped off, we're back. Be good, everyone.
Take it easy, yo.